Hi, thanks for joining me. So, just a small apology for doing two of these vlog talky videos right in a row, but I just watched a video by, sorry if I screw up your name, man, Israel Pacheco. Please correct me if I'm wrong with that. I've been watching you for a little while now, and you're really cool YouTuber. I definitely recommend that you check him out. I'll obviously link the video down in the description. But anyway, he did an open tag Monday, and brought up a topic that it's been something I've wanted to talk about for a while, which is review scores. So he talked about review scores, negativity, and overprotective gamers. So just to give my 2 cents on this, in my reviews, I never give numerical scores for things. Now, I watch some other YouTubers who do, and that's okay if that's your thing. That's not like a huge negative, but I just don't find it necessary. And I think that it screws some things up in terms of all these aggregate scoring sites. You have Metacritic and things like Rotten Tomatoes. I think movies are a really good example for this. The first thing that I do is I look at the user score, and I take into account how apt I am to like a particular movie, and I pretty much go off of that. So the critics' scores, I should say, represent a sample of like film critics' sensibilities, and actually a lot of times what it represents is kind of a really genericism. I don't think that's a word, but it's essentially like cream of wheat, cream of wheat would get like a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes or Metacritic or whatever, not because it's so good, but just because it's like, it's not offensive, it's kind of easy to digest. It's pretty good. You can put maple syrup in it and you're all set, or brown sugar, or some butter, or whatever it is that you like. You can kind of flavor it however you want, but it's basically this like kind of easy to digest, nondescript gruel, and that's what all of these movies are that get these really good aggregate scores. It's not that they did something extraordinary and were commended for it. It's basically like they fluffed the egos of the widest variety of people. They were kind of the most mediocre that they could be. And also, I think the things that we grade video games on, I don't know that they're relevant anymore. What you see a lot of is people rating on, graphics, sound, gameplay, story, and controls. You get developers, I think, focusing on these things so they can get good review scores, when really, I don't know, are those the things that we should be rating a game on? Really in this day and age, like, does that benefit us as much as it did maybe, way back in the 16-bit or the 32-bit eras? I actually came up with my own rating system. So, and I don't think I intend to use this, but let me know if you guys want me to start using this. Maybe I will. But my rating system, these are the things that I would rate games on. This is my rubric. So, for starters, it would be moe. It would be, is this completely adorable? Like, does this sort of like trip my otaku trigger? That's really important for a lot of my games, and I think when not everything, but a lot of things, and when sometimes people come along and they're like, I just don't really get it, I think that's why. So, if a game is really, it's got those sort of big-eyed anime characters, I'm just gonna naturally give that game a better score. It's gonna feel better to me. It just makes me happy. That's kind of my little niche. How moe is that game? The next thing would be escapism. It's how much does this game make me forget how crappy life is? How engaging is a game? Like, how much do you lose yourself in it? I find that to be really fun and important in games. I would rate that on a scale. I mean, Virtue's Last Reward, that's, right up there. I mean, you can play that game for days and just be lost in it, Another thing is imagination. How about we rate games on how imaginative they are? You know, I don't care how, like, realistic the graphics look or something like that. You know, was there some creativity? Like, did anybody, was this generated by a board meeting, or did somebody sit down and put some of their soul into making something imaginative and creative and fun? You know, that's much more important to me than, you know, is the sound good? Next thing is satisfaction. Because really, and I'm going to go back to movies here, a lot of the movies that I like a lot, I mean, the ones that I would put way up here, I would give 10s to. I mean, it's stuff like RoboCop, you know, Paul Verhoeven, I don't know what it is with him, but, you know, that is not a feel-good movie. It's not a fun movie. It's kind of like a grueling emotional ride. A lot of stuff that's just not very fun. You know, I wouldn't go and say, oh, well, this game was super fun, but, you know, maybe how satisfying is it? You know, because I think those movies, for me, they're extremely satisfying. But they don't necessarily have to be fun. I think that's one of the things we're groping for right now, is we're trying to say, well, what is a game, and our game's art, and all of this stuff. And then we're rating games on, like, well, does it have good graphics, and is it fun, and are the controls good? You know, and I don't think any of those things, like, let's rate the games on how artistic are they, how imaginative are they, how satisfying are they, how I don't know, subversive or confrontational are they? I mean, there are all these things that we could do that we don't do, and I think that's why ratings are just not very useful. You know, I agree with negativity and stuff too. I think there's way too much negativity online, and I'm afraid a little bit in some of my recent videos that I'm falling into that trap a little bit, where I'm getting on YouTube and I'm complaining. Even now, I feel like I'm just kind of bitching about stuff. But I think what I've been trying to do is to try to look at things from different perspectives, especially things that I'm really passionate about, where I can say, okay, can I look at the other side? Can I think about, well, what is it like to video game as a woman? And I'm a guy, and, you know, I like the games that I play. Or, you know, I gravitate more to console gaming. You know, what if I was a PC gamer? You know, things like that. And I try to, like, kind of understand that. So I hope that that's not too negative. Because I think there's just already enough negativity. We've got that covered. And the last thing is, I guess, so people being overprotective of the hobby, and I think I fall into this a little bit too, because I felt really threatened by the influx of new people and new kinds of games and stuff. But I think now it's evening out a little bit. I'm starting to feel much more okay that, you know, video gaming can kind of be for everybody, and there'll still be games that I can enjoy and other people can enjoy, and it's all good. So I don't think it pays to be overprotective of the hobby. I think, you know, it is good to try to welcome new people. It is a little hard. I am a bit kind of derisive of, you know, those people where it's like, I don't know, however many million people that play Call of Duty, only because every video game developer looks at all of their games that have nothing to do with Call of Duty and try to think of how to make them more like Call of Duty, so that, I don't know, those people will play it too. That's the only part where I stop and I go, you know, all right, this is really annoying. Don't make Final Fantasy like Call of Duty. You know, don't make God of War like Call of Duty or something. Just don't, please. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time.